When my husband told me his mother could not live alone anymore, I was standing at the kitchen sink, washing dishes after dinner. She left the stove on again, Mark said quietly. The neighbor smelled smoke. I kept my eyes on the running water. I had been expecting this. His mother, Ruth, had Alzheimer's disease. The doctor had warned us that it would slowly take away her memory, her judgment, and even parts of her personality. Still, knowing something is coming does not make it easier. So what do we do? I asked. Mark's voice was tired. She has to move in with us. Our house is small. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Thin walls, not much privacy. We have a 10-year-old son, Ethan. I work part-time from home as a bookkeeper. Mark works long hours at a hardware store. We live carefully, counting expenses each month. Furthermore, we are not trained caregivers. We don't know how to care for someone who forgets her own name, but she is his mother. When Ruth moved in, she brought 1 suitcase and 3 photo albums. She looked fragile, like she might break if we touched her too hard. Her gray hair was cut short, and her shoulders were slightly bent. She smiled at me in a confused, unsure way. At first, things were manageable. She could still shower alone. She could still hold a conversation, even if she repeated herself. She liked to sit by the window and talk about her childhood home, telling the same stories again and again. Then the disease began to show its ugly teeth. She started waking up at night, confused and scared. "Where is this?" she would call out. Sometimes she tried to leave the house. Once, Mark found her trying to climb out of the bathroom window because she thought someone was chasing her. We had to install locks higher up on the doors. We removed sharp knives from the kitchen and locked them in a cabinet with chemical cleaning products. Our home slowly stopped feeling like a home. Ruth began to accuse us of strange things. "You stole my purse," she told me one afternoon, her eyes cold. "I didn't," I said gently. "It's right here." She stared at me like I was lying. One day, Ethan asked me, "Why does Grandma keep asking me the same question?" "Her brain is sick," I explained. "It makes her forget things." "Will she forget me?" I paused. "Maybe," I said honestly, "but we will still love her." She stopped recognizing the refrigerator and tried to put her shoes inside it. She hid her dentures in a flower pot. She became upset if we tried to help her bathe. "I can do it myself," she shouted once, pushing my hand away. She slipped in the shower that day. After that, I had to stand beside her while she washed. She cried from embarrassment. I felt like I was stealing her dignity. Our finances became another heavy weight. We looked into a nursing care facility. The cost was too much. Sometimes we argued late at night about money, whispering so Ruth would not hear. "I can't do this alone anymore," I finally said to Mark. I was exhausted all the time. I stopped meeting friends. I stopped exercising. My work suffered. I lost a client because I missed deadlines. Sometimes I snapped at Ethan for small things, then cried alone from guilt. Mark was stressed too. He worked overtime to cover medical bills. He barely slept. Sometimes he sat in the car for 10 minutes after coming home, just breathing, preparing himself. The breaking point came one afternoon. Ruth became very agitated. She was convinced that strangers were in the house. She grabbed a kitchen chair and tried to hit the hallway wall. Ethan was frozen in fear. Mark and I managed to calm her down, but afterward, we both knew something had to change. After rearranging our budget, we hired an in-house caregiver named Rosa a week later. Rosa was in her 40s, calm and patient. She had experience with Alzheimer's patients. She worked from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., 3 days a week. It was more affordable than sending Mom to a nursing home. The first day Rosa arrived, I felt both relief and guilt. I should be able to do this myself, I told her quietly. She smiled kindly. No one can do this alone. Rosa helped Ruth bathe, eat, and take her medicine. She knew how to redirect her when she became confused. When Ruth asked for her long-dead husband, Rosa would gently say, "He'll be back later," and guide her to look at photo albums instead. With Rosa there, I could work again. I could go to the grocery store without panic. I could sit in silence for a few minutes. But the difficulties did not disappear. Ruth's condition continued to decline. She forgot how to use utensils. Rosa and I had to feed her slowly, spoon by spoon. She forgot words. Instead of water, she would say, "The clear thing." Sometimes she stopped speaking completely and just stared. One evening, after Rosa had gone home, Ruth looked at Mark and asked, "Where is my son?" "I'm right here, Mom." She shook her head. "No, my son is little. He has brown curls." Ethan has brown curls. Mark just put his head down and sighed. Even with Rosa's help, the emotional weight remained. Watching someone you love disappear little by little is a special kind of pain. It is not loud. It is slow and quiet. Rosa handled it with patience. I don't know how. Ethan had to grow up faster than other children. He learned not to leave small objects around because Grandma might swallow them. He learned to speak gently, even when she was rude. Life is not what it used to be. Our routines are built around medication times and mood changes. We plan everything carefully. Even short trips to the store require schedules and backup plans. Some days are peaceful. Ruth hums old songs while Rosa brushes her hair. Some days are storms of confusion and anger. One night, after a long day, I sat beside Ruth on the porch. She was staring at nothing. "Mom?" I said softly. She turned and looked at me. For a brief second, her eyes were clear. "You're tired," she said. I froze. "Yes." She gave me a warm smile as she used to before being sick, then touched my hand. "You're a good girl." Then the moment passed. Her gaze drifted away. In the middle of all the difficulty, when Ruth squeezes my hand or smiles at Ethan, I remember why we are doing this. Because she is family. Because even if her memory fades, our love does not.
Question 1. Why did Ruth have to move in with Mark and his wife? A. She wanted to be closer to her grandson. B. She sold her house to travel. C. She could no longer live safely alone. 2. What illness does Ruth have? A. Parkinson's disease. B. Alzheimer's disease. C. Diabetes. 3. What household changes did the family make for safety? A, they bought a bigger house. B, they installed locks and hid dangerous items. C, they removed all furniture. 4. Why did the narrator struggle with her work? A, she was too exhausted and distracted from caregiving. B, she changed careers. C, she had too many hobbies. 5. What caused tension between Mark and his wife at night? A, they argued about the cost of care. B, they disagreed about Ethan's school. C, they wanted to move to another city. 6. What happened during Ruth's severe episode one afternoon? A, she tried to leave on a bus. B, she shouted and tried to hit the wall with a chair. C, she locked herself in a room. 7. Who is Rosa? A, a neighbor. B, a nurse at a hospital. C, an in-house caregiver hired to help Ruth. 8. What did Mark do to help pay for his mother's care? A, he worked overtime. B, he borrowed money from friends. C, he quit his job. 9. How did Ruth's memory decline further in the story? A, she forgot how to drive. B, she forgot how to read books. C, she forgot that Mark was her son. 10. What is one main message of the story? A, love requires sacrifice. B, money is more important than family. C, illness can be cured with patience alone.
'Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment,